What's happening, guys? My name is Private Boy. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are having a look at a brand new mobile game that has just started alpha testing. We are looking at Call of Duty Legends of War. That's right, the COD franchise is on its way to the mobile platform. Today we're going to be looking at whether this is a good or a bad thing. Now, Legends of War was only open for alpha testing within Australia for a few weeks in December. Now, I didn't get the chance to play this a whole lot. I played it enough to sort of just gauge an opinion about it, but that's about it. As you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, this gameplay belongs to Tex Amazing. I'll leave his channel link down in the description so you can go check him out. Thank you so much, Tex Amazing, for the gameplay, because by the time I'd actually planned out this video and went to go and get gameplay, the alpha test had actually finished. Now, there's a lot of good things about this game, there's also a lot of bad things, so I'm just going to run straight through them one by one and just do sort of a general review of my first impressions. So the first initial thought that I had when I jumped into this game was that it is eerily similar to Black Ops 2. Now, this is definitely a good thing. Black Ops 2 is my second favourite Treyarch game behind Black Ops 3. The guns are all pretty much the same, the maps are the same, and the general pacing of the game is the same. I do love the nostalgia of it though. Even if Black Ops 2 wasn't one of the greatest games ever built, I just love being able to jump into old maps, play with old guns on a similar system to an old game, and the fact that I can do this now while I'm, sitting on a train or I'm 2 hours away from my Xbox, it's outstanding. One thing that this game has that Black Ops 2 didn't have is character customization. Now, it's not all-out customization like you'd expect from like a WWE game or even the Creator Pro in FIFA. It's basically just changing skins and stuff like you do on Fortnite and on Black Ops 4, but that's just a whole new dimension that Black Ops 2 didn't have, and it's really good to see on a mobile platform where you're not going to get the full experience that you would on an Xbox Call of Duty game. Now, this game does come with a marketed zombies experience, but it's not the zombies experience that you would expect. I didn't get to play the full thing. The mode that I played, I think, was called like Operations or something. It was like you play through different stages, so it's set on Green Run, which is the map on Black Ops 2 that's transit, but you can play it sort of like in separate areas. So you start off on farm and you have to take out a certain amount of zombies, and then you essentially play a mini game of Hardpoint. Then you go do the same at town, and then you end up in sort of a boss battle thing with the main, I forget his name, the electricity guy from the transit Easter egg. And then you face this guy called the Butcher, which is basically just this big guy with like a machete and like a hammer sort of thing. He has a range of different attacks, and you have to work with the 3 other people on your team to take him down. Now, this isn't the type of zombies experience you'd come to expect. Obviously, Treyarch have made their zombies experience tailored to the classic zombies of just being round-based combat with a few little Easter eggs or a main Easter egg challenge thrown in the mix. I quite enjoyed this though. I mean, it's a different experience. It's not something that you'd typically get, but in saying that, I still do love my Treyarch, typical Treyarch zombies experience. But then again, I can just get that on my Xbox or PC or, whatever platform you're going to play on. And the biggest thing for me with this game is that it feels like a Call of Duty game. Now, I'm not usually the biggest supporter of mobile games. I don't really play them that much. I mean, I played Fortnite Mobile and PUBG Mobile and, all those sort of mobile versions of popular console and PC games, but they never really felt like the full game. I played a fair bit of PUBG Mobile when it first came out, and it just felt like it was way too easy. I remember like 3 games in the first day, and I won every single one of them despite never having played the game before. And it just felt too different from PUBG for Xbox and PC. This game definitely does not have that though. I mean, it's a lot easier than your console and PC versions of Call of Duty games, but it's definitely still fairly competitive. I've always wanted a Call of Duty game for mobile. Well, not specifically Call of Duty, but I've always just sort of been at Lives, an hour and a half away from my Xbox, and just wanted to jump in and play a few games of COD. Now I can do that. So we've run through the good things about this game, but now it's time to run through the few bad things that would stop me from getting this game when it first releases. Now, the first thing that I can mention isn't something that was in the alpha test, but it's going to be in the full version, is that there is definitely going to be loot boxes. Every single mobile game worth its salt has loot boxes. They market the game as a free-to-play game and then just pepper it with microtransactions. If they're gonna implement it the way that they implemented loot boxes in Black Ops 3, then this could very well ruin the game for me. I don't mind having loot boxes if it's all cosmetic stuff involved in it, but if they're gonna release DLC weapons and things like that into the loot boxes that you can only get by buying COD points or using your crypto keys or something like that, then that's just gonna stop me from playing it like it did with Black Ops 3. But the first thing that's actually in the alpha test that bothered me was the controls. They just feel really clunky and uncomfortable to use. Obviously, being an alpha test, there's a lot of things that they could change, but the main problem that I had with the controls is that there's no ADS button. So the way that you aim down sights is that you essentially hold the fire button, and there's about a 2-second delay before your gun actually starts to fire. To me, this is a bit of a problem because when I play full versions of COD, my ADS I use to sort of check around corners and, you know, use it the way that it's intended to be used. But yeah, in this it's just impossible, and it does make it feel a little bit slow to play. Now, I mentioned earlier that playing PUBG Mobile, it felt way too easy. This game does suffer from it a little bit, not to the extent that PUBG did. There's still a sort of sense of competitiveness about it. I would say that it just felt easy just because it's the alpha test, nobody's played it before, and people are just getting used to the controls and the way that the game plays and everything. But I think overall I played maybe about 20 games, and you know, I just remember my first game we played on standoff, and I went 24-1 despite never having played the game before. But that's just something that we're going to have to wait until the full release to prove. One thing that did irk me a little bit about it is the limited class creation. Now, it has a creator class function, but when I tried to access it, there was no like extra attachments or extra perks or extra equipment to use. To me, that's a huge problem with it being a Call of Duty game, because one of my favorite things about Call of Duty is being able to customize your loadout and play to your style. Different attachments on whatever gun you're using, that sort of thing dictates how you can play with that gun. But I'll save my biggest problem for last, and that is easily the amount of login issues I had. As you can see from this gameplay here, this is actually mine. It's not letting me into the game itself. I'm trying to log in through Facebook, and it keeps on coming up with an error message saying connection terminated. Now, this gameplay was recorded the day before the alpha test actually went offline. I could put it down to the alpha test ending, but I was getting this every now and then when I was trying to play it during the alpha test. If this is going to be a problem on full release, which I hope it's not, it would be something that would very much stop me from playing this game. You know, with mobile games, you want to be able to just quickly jump in and play a few games with minimal issues. A lot of the time, if you're just on public transport, you're just looking for something to kill the time, then this would be the perfect game for you, because games last all of about maybe 5 minutes. But if you have to spend 20 minutes just trying to log into the game at all, then that's going to present a huge problem for most people. So my overall opinion of this is that it's definitely a step in the right direction. If you had asked me 12 months ago if I would have wanted a mobile Call of Duty game, I would have said hell no, just because the mobile community isn't a real gaming community in my opinion. But definitely considering how much I'm away from home, how much I'm away from my Xbox, this is definitely a good thing if it can be implemented the right way. So guys, that'll just about wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to drop a like on the video if you enjoyed. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.